Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of the Ultimate Northern Ontario Road Show. Oh, hi, Mr. Turtle. What are we up to this week? Lots of riding in Northeastern Ontario with Glenn and Gwen from Motorcycle Mojo. We're starting our week setting off from Mattawa, Voyageur Country. Crossing into Quebec at the south end of the Temiskaming Loop has always been one of my favorite roads. Winding alongside the Ottawa River before the Tembec paper mill fills the sky, shows off the massive industries that are just as much a part of the north as the nearly endless boreal forest. There's few places in the world where you'll find this wealth of roads with as little traffic as there is here. As we head north through Quebec, a dramatic change occurs as the forest gives way to the Little Clay Belt, an incredibly fertile agricultural area. In the heat of summer, the brilliant yellow canola blooms light up the fields, but on our trip, it was the fierce orange wildflowers that caught our eyes. Tough, yet beautiful, like the north itself. The wide open skies led us to the town of New Liskeard, an area close to my heart where my own summer cottage is. A place I'd like to return to one day, if we ever stop moving. So we finally arrived in the town of New Liskeard, Ontario, home of the Bikers Reunion, and part of the Little Clay Belt, where you can get 2 steaks for the price of 1. Why can you get 2 steaks for the price of 1? Well, simply put, because this area is so agriculturally fertile that it is easier and cheaper to grow and cut up and barbecue cows here than anywhere else in the province. We actually don't know that for sure, it's not really a fact, but you can get a cheap steak here. Oh, hi. Well, this is the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in New Liskeard. It's easily the finest accommodation in the city. We've got such things as running water, electric lights, hot tubs, bathtubs, also larger bathtubs called swimming pools. I am probably going to go into my room right now and take a shower, get a little bit of the road grime off of me. I wouldn't invite you in, but you know, I have a lady caller. Stay with us. How do you get home? Oh, hey. Well, it looks like my lady friend decided not to show up, so I guess it's just you, me, and the TV tonight.
And here we have a much more finished drawing, a much more refined drawing. Then we take this drawing and transfer it to canvas by printer. We'll scan the drawing and print it on canvas.
Okay.
And then I'll add the colors. And then I'll have my page, I'll scan that, and then by computer, we'll do the bubbles and the text is added all by computer. So this is the finished page. There's going to be 76 of those.
Okay. We read your biography. We know that you also had a fairly significant tragedy in your life.
Well, that's right.
And so we were kind of curious about how that shaped your artistic practice. I mean, we understand you had to overcome this great adversity, but what changed in terms of, you know, the content that you decided to produce? What changed in terms of your subject matter?
The subject matter didn't change, but the commitment to art did.
Okay.
I had a passion for it. I wasn't very good at it, but I just loved it. And that's usually the key of many trade in life. You have to love it first. That's a lot more powerful than being good at it.
Right.
I went in and I could smell gas, but I wasn't aware of that danger. And when I turned the switch of the pom-pom, there was a circuit and it did a spark and the whole thing blew up. And that's how I got burned.
Okay.
The doctor says, oh, he says, looks pretty bad and we really don't know what's going to happen with your hands because it could be a risk.
Yeah.
But the swelling and all themselves, they couldn't tell. So that's where I made the promise to myself. I said, if ever I can gain the use of my hands again, because I wasn't the swelling and all, and I was very scared. For an artist too, I'm a very young artist, never did anything important, just scribblings and stuff like that. But I made that promise to myself, if I'm able to use my hands again, I swear that I will become an artist.
We're here with Clermont Duval at the Clermont Duval Art Gallery in Mattawa, Ontario. Come and check it out.
We have a passenger and crew carrying capacity of 321 persons, and our normal cruising speed is 10 knots, or 11.5 miles per hour. The Chief Commander 2 was the first all-aluminum, twin-hulled passenger vessel constructed in Canada. She was built on the shores of Killarney Bay by the Marlin Yacht Company out of Gananoque. Construction started in 1974, and she was put into service in the summer of 1975. At that time, she replaced the Chief Commander 1, which was in service from 1946 until 1974. The Chief Commander 1 is now permanently moored at the North Bay waterfront. Both vessels were named after Chief Raymond Commanda, who drowned in the French River in 1944. The name Commanda comes from a long line of chiefs dating back to the War of 1812. A native chief with a special ability to command his followers was given the English name Chief Simon Commanda by his British allies. Shortly after the war, he gathered a few young men from his home base in Quebec. They travelled west up the Ottawa River, portaged across the watershed, and found themselves at the mouth of South River, looking out at a lake called Little Water, or Nipissing, by the natives. Lake Nipissing itself is the third largest lake wholly contained within the province of Ontario. You look around, I mean, there's no shortage of ways that you can go and all that. And a lot of people try to leave their troubles behind once they hit the water, right? Life's a pretty busy thing for everybody, and it's easy to get caught up in that. But it's such a psychological break as soon as you pull away from the dock that, you know, sure you've got your cell phone on, but you're not tethered to it or anything like that. So it just gives you an opportunity to kind of get away from it all.
Where the heck are we, Claude? What is this?
We're in Nipissing Village.
Nipissing Village. So this is an actual place that we're in. It has a name. It's called Nipissing Village in Vacationland, Ontario. And we're about to go visit, I think, Board's Honey Farm in Restoule. So this is Glenn and Gwen from Motorcycle Mojo. Is there anything that you guys are looking forward to particularly on this little trip we're about to undertake?
No, like I said last night, when I get on a trip, I usually go from point A to point B and nothing in between. I don't get to smell the roses, I don't get to see anything, so I'm looking forward to this. and because I never get to stop and see things. So at the end of my 10-hour day, I'm thinking, man, I've ridden all this way, but I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
So today I'm going to see some stuff. I'm looking forward to it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And Gwen?
Yeah, same thing. Nice being a passenger and just being able to look around and, you know, point out different things that you don't normally see.
When we started off, it's about respect for the little things in your life, and the bees they're a mystery, and they teach you so much about nature, and they do so much for us, pollination, and it continues. It's a learning journey all the time. They teach us about ourselves and how other people think of them. For instance, like people are afraid of them, and so part of the mission is to just build people's awareness about how they are in our environment, and that they're not something to be afraid of. They're something to respect, and let your curiosity be greater than your fear.
We're going to head underground now to a mine in the Sudbury Basin. The meteor impact that happened almost 2 billion years ago created one of the richest ore bodies in the world. Now, let's take a moment to look at the inner workings of a Sudbury hard rock mine.
So, you can step inside. So 100 years ago, let's just say that the miners' idea and belief was that if women were present underground, the miners were going to die because women were considered bad luck.
This is it.
Queen Elizabeth came down to Canada. She did a whole tour across Canada. I think it was in 1937. Now, she wanted to visit the mines. Now, you can't refuse royalty, right? So she went to Fruit Mine, which is just at the entrance of New Sudbury by Collège Boreal. Now, she went down, everything went fine, she had a private tour, she went back up, and then she was on her merry way. The miners working at Fruit Mine themselves didn't go back to work for 3 weeks for fear that they were going to die, because the woman had entered the mine site.
I'm terrified right now.
So this is actually a piece of history from Sherbrooke. It's called the Sherbrooke Rand Drill. It's made by Mr. Rand in Sherbrooke, Quebec, back in 1883, so this is over 129 years old.
Oh God, I thought this was a mining tour. It's not a mining tour. They put you to work down here. Okay, so this is an ore chute, and what they would do in the old mines is they would pass all the rock down to this one area to be collected. But sometimes up in the chute, it would get stuck. So they usually use a bar just like this to dig the stuff out. But if that didn't work, they would tie a piece of dynamite to the end of a stick, put a long fuse on it, light it, jam it up there, and wait for it to explode. I have to say, I think I could really get into this mining lifestyle. Solving your problems with dynamite, I could see that working for me.
So the second stick is actually the primer stick. This actually has the blasting cap in it. It's going to set off the dynamite, and it has a fuse in it too. And last but not least, you can put another stick of dynamite. So you would do this for all the holes. Next step, grab the wooden rod, push it all the way in, and then I'll light up the fuse, and then he'll fire the hole. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, he's about to light the fuse. I think we better get the hell out of here. So this is day 11 of the ultimate Northern Ontario road trip. We have been out here for more than a week and I have not been in the water. I think it's time to get wet here at Lake George in Killarney. Okay, now for the hard part. And now for the easy part. Dignified little pile here. That's about as refreshing as it looks. Whew. If this is the start of your summer, make yourself a promise right now. Get in a car or on a motorcycle, drive as fast as you can legally to a lake, and get in it. See you later. Oh, the majesty of the Ontario Lake. Is there anything better? No, I'm dead. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. I need you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I love you, baby. To spend the lonely night, I need you, baby. Trust in me when I say.
I travel a lot.
Yeah.
So the whole reason behind the Sportsman is everything I get picky on when I travel in hotels. So the starting of the wine cellar was basically your Ontario wines, which are good for somebody that's American that wants something to visiting us in our area to sell. Most of them are on consignment, so they're not sold to the LCBO. So our fine dining aspect, that people that recognize their wines are going to know it's not a wine that you can actually purchase. It's only through consignment in restaurants.
We get all our local fish from the Ross down the road where he has his fish and chip truck, so we get it fresh pretty much every day. So I try to keep everything as high quality, but give the guests the experience that they're expecting when they come to the Sportsman with a relaxed atmosphere.
We don't have slow-mo on this cam, so I have to do everything very slow. That is good. Ooh. It's a very complex taste. There's a bit of there's a bit of ooh, there's a bit of in there. Would you pass the salt, Alex?
Yes. Nice to see her. She sees me. We only see
You know, I can't remember a time when I felt so relaxed.
Gonna tip over?
When we took over, it had never been operated as a public resort. It was a private customer corporate entertainment resort. More than anything else, the establishment of Killarney Provincial Park put us on the map, more than anything we could ever do. And it immediately became what has generally been referred to as the crown jewel of provincial parks. And it's always had the highest per capita occupancy of any provincial park. And every September we have the annual rendezvous of the lake pilots, and they come the first weekend after Labor Day, and we've had as many as 28 aircraft parked on the front lawn here.
Wow.
All of which taxi up on that ramp. One of my sons took it into his head that he wanted to get a motorcycle, and I said, no way. I think he was only 16 whenever you could first get a license.
Yeah.
And so we had a family confrontation over this. He bought one anyhow, and I chained it to a tree. He got a bolt cutter, cut the chain, and away he went. And he had a couple of bad scrapes on it, but he survived it.
Yeah. So I'm here on the docks at Killarney, Ontario with Glenn Roberts from Motorcycle Mojo. What is the character of a motorcyclist? It's somebody who says to themselves, I want to be outside rather than inside.
Well, there's got to be a bit of sense of adventure, because I mean it is more dangerous than in a car, let's face it.
Yeah.
So you got to be a little bit adventurous, you got to be able to take a bit of risk, but life without risk is boring. The Northern Ontario, they got some nice roads. The pavement's really not in that bad a shape considering the weather that we get up here.
It always kind of tied into that idea of freedom for me, because once you get out into Northern Ontario, you actually have the road to yourself. So it's you, your bike, the scenery, the smells, the temperature changes, the elevation changes, the corners. You don't really have that much else to worry about, so.
No, well, animals.
Animals, yeah.
There's moose and deer up here, but there's deer everywhere. You always got to be aware of animals, and they're unpredictable. It's not like a car driver who are somewhat unpredictable. But that's all part of the fun. It's all part of the experience.
Yeah. Cool. I think we got it.
You thirsty buffoons. You've been holding us back all day.
Your polluted crankcase has the torque of a dilapidated lawnmower.
You all better calm yourselves down. I was burning dinosaurs when you were twinkling an overeager engineer's butt crack.
You should watch your tongue, you Americans fine.
Yes, you've seen what we've done to your little friend back there.
Oh, my backside, you pair of sanctimonious brutes. Running down your bedders? Oh, one day there'll be someone faster and younger than you mark my words.
Learn your place, you dilapidated piece of scrap iron.